Welcome back to Football Now, a YouTube channel where we run you through the latest round of Premier League fixtures, give our own predictions, and also talk you through the betting odds. As you can tell by the title of this video, the final game of the weekend, we're focusing on Manchester City taking on Spurs. Tottenham Hotspur, struggling Tottenham Hotspur in recent weeks. Man City obviously coming off the back of a 1-1 draw with Liverpool at home. Connor, before we get into the game in more detail, I'm sure you love talking about Tottenham, but I will get the betting odds out of the way first, and then we can focus on what's going on with the two sides.
Yeah, 9-1. Wow. I mean, I know Tottenham have not been in the best of form lately. You know, they've lost the past three games now. But yeah, I mean, 9-1. You know, they are a team of really good players. They were in great form. They were top of the table. And Manchester City haven't been the best themselves this season. They've dropped points in the past two games against Liverpool and Chelsea. So, yeah, for value, you know, 9-1. I mean, could you see Tottenham going there against City and getting the 3 points? You wouldn't expect it, but you won't be totally shocked, would you? So for me, 9-1 is what my eyes draw to. If you're not quite that confident, even 5-1 for a draw is very, very good. So, I mean, you see the form there of both of the sides. Neither team have won in the past two games. Tottenham that extends to 3 games, but yeah, in terms of value, I'm not even going to entertain a 1-3 because it's just even if City weren't playing against Tottenham, we're playing against someone else. You know, I don't like 1-3, 1-4. I'm not a fan of those anyway. But yeah, 9-1. Can't look past it for me. That's where my 50p will be going. It will only be 50p as well.
Yeah, like you said, I think that's maybe a little bit harsh on Spurs. Obviously, they lost their last 3 games, isn't it? I think in the league, starting off at home to Chelsea, losing 4-1, then 2-1 away, lost to Wolves before losing 2-1 again by 2 goals to 1 again. Sorry, at home against Villa, a very, very good Aston Villa side on Sunday. City as well, I'm sure they'll be looking to return to winning ways. Like you said, they've drawn their last 2, 4-4 away at Chelsea, then a 1-1 draw at home to Liverpool. I don't think the Liverpool result in particular is a terrible result for them. I'm sure Pep Guardiola would have been thinking, just don't lose. I think that was kind of reflected as well in the last 10 minutes of the game, where both sides, I think Jurgen Klopp was quite conservative with his substitutions, bringing on the likes of Taro Endo. For example, it seemed like both managers were content with a point at the Etihad. I'm sure, look, if you look at what Man City have done under Pep in the last 5 or 6 years, they'll be backing themselves to really kick on after Christmas, especially, and go on one of those crazy runs which they go on and just amass all the points and blow everyone out of the water come the end of the season, which ultimately I still do think they are going to do, despite the positive form of the likes of Liverpool and Arsenal. For Spurs, this game probably couldn't have come at a worse time. Now, I'm sure a couple of weeks ago they'd have been backing themselves to win their last couple of games and go into the Etihad in real good form, but it's not turned out that way at all for them, has it? And when you're on the back of a losing run, the last place you want to be going is away to Man City.
Isn't it?
Yeah, I'm going to say I'm sure Connor's heart is bleeding for them. How do you think Tottenham will be approaching this game, on the back of what's happened in the last couple of weeks? Max has just tried to ring me. There we
go. I think, can you believe that, by the way? Our boss tells us that it was Tuesday, and what's he do? He rings us during the bloody middle of it. Can you, Adam and Eve it? Yeah, I think I still think Ange Postecoglou is still going to go for it. I think I think he doesn't know anything different than to attack and play positive football. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, by the way. Mm-hmm. I mean, even if you are one of the sides up there, I don't think Spurs are title challengers. I don't think there ever were title challengers. Therefore, is this game a bit of a free roll? I think it is. Against City at the Etihad, I think it is. So you might as well go for it because Tottenham's strength, their biggest strength, is their firepower and that artillery in attack. So you might as well try and use that. I don't think they're going to get anywhere really by sitting back and playing too conservative, too deep. We know what Ange Postecoglou will do. He's going to play a high line. I mean, he did that for 9 men, for goodness sake. So he's going to stick to that. And if you're playing a high line, then you're going to have to commit men forward. So I think this could be a real high-scoring game. I don't think it's going to be too edgy. I think Spurs are going to go for it. And I think City, will probably punish them, but I think it's that high risk, high reward strategy, which I think you have to do against City, because I think keeping a clean sheet against City is not. I mean, does anyone keep a clean sheet against City? I don't think so. So you have to try and outscore them. I mean, you look at Chelsea, they went for it and ended up 4-4. They got a point out of it. It doesn't matter whether it's 0-0 or 10-10. If you get a point out of it, it's a very good result against City. Not everyone can be like Arsenal beating Man City. It don't really happen. Not everyone can be like Arsenal keeping 2 clean sheets, one against the Community Shield and one against the Premier League. Not everybody can be like Arsenal making Erling Haaland get 0.00 XG in both games. We're not all as good as Arsenal. We're not all as good as Mikel Arteta. And then Postecoglou certainly is not. So I do think it's going to be a very attacking game. I don't think Ange Postecoglou is going to be too disheartened if they get beat here, but I think he's going to have a goal. And I think that's what they need to do.
Tottenham fans, I apologise on the behalf of him. I'm just looking at Tottenham's fixtures after this game. They host West Ham, then and Newcastle at home as well. Forest away, Everton at home, Brighton away, and Bournemouth at home. They're their final games of 2024. I think we've all been not waiting, but I think we were intrigued about. We saw the positive start Tottenham did. I think they far exceeded expectations under Postecoglou. But I think we all knew there was going to be, inevitably, it happens to all sides, a patch where the results just don't go your way. And I think everyone's looking at them thinking, how are they going to react? Are they going to fold and are they just going to continue almost imploding, or are they going to be able to dress themselves down and go again?
The problem is, if they lose this game, which I think we both expect it to happen, perhaps, that's 4 games without a win. It's 4 losses in a row. And that it just looks bad, doesn't it? And it's just going to feel bad in the dressing room. They've not got Harry Kane to bail them out.
Yeah, that's it. It'll be a real test of the resolve and of Postecoglou's managerial skills as well. I'm sure if he can pick them back up. Look, ultimately in the next game they play West Ham. Obviously, that's a very tasty game as well. If you can't get yourselves up for games like that, then I think I'd be worried. One thing that Tottenham do have in their favour, they don't have European football, do they? So they'll they'll have a couple of days rest on a lot of the sides around them vying for those Champions League places. Look, we can talk about the league. I don't think anyone ever, even when Tottenham were top of the league, thought that that they'd be in and around competing for the Premier League at the end of the season. I think it was a great start which they made, but inevitably there was going to be a drop off. I didn't think it'd be as steep as it has been in the last 3 or 4 weeks, which obviously could continue this weekend. I'm interested what their result is like in the head-to-heads, because I know when Tottenham play City at the Etihad, I don't think City have ever scored at the London Stadium, the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Sorry, have they in the game?
Let's have a look. So last time out in February, Tottenham won 1-0. And then before that, it was 4-2 at the Etihad. Before that, it was 3-2 at the Etihad to Tottenham Hotspur. Then before that, another 1-0 victory for Tottenham. So Tottenham's record here, Tottenham's record against City overall is quite good. And we're not talking about a City, we're talking about City who were even better arguably than what they are now. So it'll be a very difficult game to predict, but it should be a very, very good game to watch. Yeah,
definitely. I think it's on at 4:30 on Sky Sports on Sunday afternoon. I think a lot of us will be tuning in for that. Like you said, 2 teams who like to get play progressive attacking football. I think it only makes for a good game. It's a risky strategy against Man City, but I think Liverpool showed, and Arsenal have showed as well, if you take the game, if you're good enough and you can take the game to Man City, you do give yourself a chance. Obviously, there's that element of risk, of course, that you could end up on the end of a 3 or 4-0 defeat. But if I'm Tottenham, I think there's dangers of overthinking it, especially when you enter a game like this on the back of a couple of losses. But just to go there, like you said, it's a free hit. See what happens. If not, dust yourself off again. The more I think about it, I'm backing Tottenham to get a draw. I've just got a feeling that they can get a point out of it. I'm hoping they will, for our point of view as Liverpool and Arsenal fans. But like I said, I think everyone will be watching this game just to see how Tottenham react. Not just in terms of how the game pans out, but almost psychologically as well. If they're able to, if their heads have dropped now on the back of the last 3 games, or if they will dust themselves off in an upset. Having said all of that, Connor, we'll move on to the predictor. As you can see, we've got our own head-to-head. I'm 9 points ahead right now. Do you want to give your prediction first of all?
Yeah, it's a tough one. I mean, like you said, it is a risky strategy if you go after City, because you could end up losing 3 or 4-0. But saying that, I think if you hold back, you'll lose about 1-0, 2-0. So what's the difference? You've still lost 3 points. Yeah. Yeah, it's a tough one, isn't it? I mean, how many times in the past 5 years have City gone 3 Premier League games without a victory? Has it ever happened? I don't know. So I think they are going to get back to winning ways here, and I think Tottenham are going to be 4 Premier League games without a victory. So I'm going to go with City to win 3-1.
Yeah, look, it wouldn't surprise me City winning at all. Of course, it wouldn't. But more I think about it, I'm going to take the leap of faith and back Tottenham to get someone at the risk of giving you a few points on the predictor. But why not? I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw.
I knew that. I typed it out. Look, I'm not even going to type it. I typed it out before you even said it. I knew you were going to go with 2-2.
I've got a feeling that Tottenham will get someone an entertaining game. Lots of chances and obviously a lot of goals as well. I'm going to back Tottenham and Postecoglou to grab a point at the Etihad and stem the rot of the last 3 weeks. That concludes our preview of Manchester City versus Tottenham at the Etihad. And we've now recorded all 10 previews for the games this weekend. You can go and check them all out on the channel, Football Now. You can also check out our affiliated channels as well across a whole range of sports, one of them being darts now, which Connor is the main contributor towards. You can see them in the link, via the link in the description, rather. And we will see you next week to see how me and Connor got on in our predictions. We'll see you over there.